What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw here, and today we're going to be going over the Leupold VX6 1:6x24 power multi-gun scope. And I want to start off this review by talking about why I bought this scope in the first place. I'm originally a big fan of Trijicon, as you guys know. I like the Trijicon AccuPoint AccuPoint 1-4. I also own an AccuPower scope now, and I was looking at their new scopes. But the Leupold's out there, and Leupold's also a pretty good quality brand. So I wanted to take a look at them because their scope is a 1:6. I know the new AccuPoint has a 1:6, but at the time I was looking at this, they weren't really available. Also, it is lighter than even the current 1:6 from Trijicon, so I'm a big fan of lightweight. If the scope is durable and does the job and it's a little bit lighter weight, why not go with that one? Starting off, I'm going to tell you some things about the scope. It's waterproof. It's made of 6061 T6 aluminum. That's a pretty good quality aluminum. It has a CMR squared illuminated reticle in it, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I actually purchased the scope in the first place, because I like the idea of a BDC in my scope. Because for a 1:6 powered scope, a lot of times you're going to be shooting within 100 yards, and then if you're going to go out to 100, 200, 300, even 400 yards, you can go out pretty easily with a 1:6 powered scope. Using your BDC, especially in like a 3-gun match or something like that, is quicker than your turrets. I like the reticle. I like that it has a 0.5 inner dot, so you can use it for small, accurate shots. And then it has an illuminated 5 MOA circle, I believe, around it. And that really helps. It turns it in more of a red dot up close. Because what you're going to be using a 1:6 power for is you're going to be using it from 0 to, let's say, 400 yards. You know, you can push out past that, but let's stay around the 400-yard range for this review. And the red dot for 0 to 50 is great. It's not true 1 power, I don't believe, but it's really, really close. You can't tell. It's as fast as a red dot up close. One of the things that I don't like about the reticle, though, is that the lines on the BDC, I like a BDC because I don't like to spin turrets, you know, if you have to shoot quickly. But the lines on the BDC, I feel like they're just too far out. Like, do I need an 800-yard BDC on a 1:6 scope? Probably not, you know. It would have been nice to have a more defined 200 and 300-yard range, because that's basically where you're going to be shooting at in the first place. Along with the windage on the outside, I don't know if we need that big of lines for windage. It would have been probably better served to keep that clear so you can see targets easier. But again, that's just me. I'm not a complete expert on scopes. I'm just telling you guys about what I thought of the scope as I used it. I've had this scope for quite a while. I got it for about 800 bucks on eBay. The retail on it is $1,600, somewhere in there. I mean, I hope you don't pay that for it. But like I said, it's a pretty decent scope. One of the positives of it is that it has great glass. The glass is as good or better than the Trijicon, in my opinion, and I'm going to be comparing it a little bit to the Trijicon in this video. The Trijicon has great glass, but it is an older scope. So the glass is really, really good. The field of view is excellent, especially on true 1 power. Or especially on 1 power. I mean, you can put your cheek all the way to the end of this this X95 here, and you can still see through the scope. You know, you're gonna have a little distortion, but you can still see through it enough to make a shot if you had to. So that the eye relief on the scope is really nice. I think the eye relief, they say on the website's like 3.3 or something. The turrets have quarter MOA adjustments. I didn't really test that a great deal on this scope because, like I said before, I don't really like to spin dials on a 1:6 power scope. I just like to use a BDC. And also, I didn't shoot this further than 300 yards. So, didn't really have an opportunity, but they seemed accurate when I was zeroing it in, so you're going to have to try that out for yourself. But Leupold's a pretty high-quality company. They're known for making pretty good quality glass. This is one of their higher-end scopes, so I'm willing to bet the adjustments will be just fine. The weight on it is 14.6 ounces. That's really good, in my opinion, for a quality 1:6 scope. Weight is something I really consider when I look at optics because they can make your rifle a lot heavier really quick. You know, if you play a lot of Call of Duty and stuff like that, you think that Night Force is the only optic for you, or you think that You know, US Optics is a great scope. Both of those optics are amazing scopes, but they will add some weight, so be careful what you put on your rifle. I'm not saying that they're not a good idea. Like if you're shooting a Barrett 50, throw a US Optics or a Night Force on there. But sometimes, especially in the civilian world, you can get away with a lighter optic that does a great job that you don't necessarily need to, you know, throw out of a helicopter. But if you're looking for durability, the Trijicon, especially the ACOGs, are really, really durable as well. The Leupold, I don't think would hold up to that, but, you know, it's durable enough for what it is. It's got Leupold's 1:6 zoom ratio. I guess that's not really Leupold's thing, but they have that on their new VX6 scopes. That's kind of nice. It's got toolless 0 setting. It's got Leupold's diamond coat in the lenses. Does that work? I think it does. I didn't take a penny to it and scratch it or anything, but the lenses look pretty clear on the scope still, so it works out. It's a second focal plane scope, so if you're going to do any ranging with it, you're going to want to do that on max power. It's got a push button illumination on it. This is a con of the scope in my opinion. This is actually one of the reasons why I am probably going to sell the scope after I get it back from Leupold. Right after I'm done with this review here, I'm going to be sending this to Leupold for repairs. The illumination is really, really finicky on this scope. It has been since I actually got it, but it didn't get as bad until recently, and now it has a really hard time even turning on. I thought it was the battery. I took the battery out. I've replaced the battery like 4 times, made sure that the cap was super tight so it's getting a connection and everything. It has a motion sensor technology in it, so when you pick up the rifle, the red dot is supposed to turn itself on, and it's supposed to turn off after a certain amount of time, like 3 or 4 minutes of setting. So I think that could be an issue, more so than the power issue, but as I said, it's having some real issues. I'll be shooting the rifle, and within 5 minutes later, the red dot will turn on for a little bit, and then I'll be shooting it a little bit, and then it'll turn off again. Now, is that a deal breaker? No, because the black is etched in the reticle. You know, the reticle is etched in black, so you always have a reticle regardless. It's just not lit up. But for a $1,000 scope, I want my illumination in my scope to work correctly. So I'm going to be sending it back to Leupold. Hopefully they will fix the problem. I'm sure that they will. But be aware of that. Overall, what would I say about this scope? If the illumination worked, it would have been a really, really good scope. I'm going to say that off the bat. If I would have got this scope and the illumination would have worked perfectly and everything would have been perfectly reliable, it may have been my favorite scope over this one. But it didn't. So, like I said, I'm probably going to have to give it up. I might look for primary arms 1:8. There's a couple other scopes I've been looking into. Again, the Trijicon AccuPoint 1:6 I'll probably look into as well. If you guys have some comments on scopes you'd like me to try in the 1:6, 1:7, 1:8 range, I know there's a Bushnell 1:7. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any experience on them, which ones you liked, which ones you didn't. Because like I said, after I get this back from Leupold, even though they'll probably fix it and it'll probably be just fine, A, I'm a gear reviewer and I'll probably get something else with the money for this, and B, I'm just finicky like that. If I get a product and it doesn't work out of the box, it's pretty much it for me. There's so many products on the market that you have to compete for the consumer. I shouldn't have to send my products into you to get them fixed. You know, you should have fixed them. Quality control should have caught that before it came out. I understand that happens, especially in business, especially in a big company like Leupold. But for me personally, I stick with things that work, and I stick with companies that work out of the box. Thanks, guys. This is one of my first actual scope reviews, so don't be too critical on me. Please like and subscribe if you like the channel. I forgot my own fucking tagline. Oh, please help out your local homeless shelters and remember to recycle. Check you later.